LGR Today, bringing you the latest local and community news and sports in London.
Good morning. Inquests have opened into the deaths of a 16-year-old girl and her 48-year-old father at a house in Essex. Coroner Caroline Beasley Murray opened the inquest and adjourned both hearings to a later date. Margaret and Costas Pieridis both died after suffering stab wounds to the chest at Prayers Hill, Sybil Headingham on Saturday. Margaret's friend said earlier she had a difficult relationship with her father, but the pair appeared to have patched things up recently. According to an exclusive in this morning's Daily Mirror, George Michael wept in his cell yesterday after he was jailed for his drug-driving car crash. The pop legend sobbed and is reported to have said, "I can't believe this is happening to me." Highbury Magistrates Court in London sentenced George Michael to 8 weeks in jail, imposed a £1,250 fine and banned him from driving for 5 years. In other news, legislation designed to tackle and ban unlicensed constructions across the island of Cyprus, as well as spelling out who is responsible for transactions, may at long last bring relief to thousands of trapped property buyers. It's estimated that there are some 100,000 Cypriots and non-Cypriots without title deeds for their properties, the majority because of building permit violations. Politicians are working on a cluster of bills involving a so-called town planning amnesty and at the same time accelerating the issue of building and town planning permits. According to government sources, the bills should be ready to go to the plenum by mid-October. The European Court of Human Rights has ruled that Turkey failed to protect the life of journalist Hrant Dink, who was murdered in 2007. Turkish authorities were warned that ultra-nationalists were plotting to kill Dink, but failed to act, it said. Dink, editor of a Turkish Armenian newspaper, has been prosecuted for allegedly denigrating Turkishness. On the domestic front, the Governor of the Bank of England is preparing to face a grilling from union leaders as he takes to the stage at the TUC conference in Manchester. Mervyn King is expected to field questions on bankers' bonuses and tax evasion when he becomes only the second governor ever to address the delegates. MPs have warned that the government defence spending cuts review is being carried out so quickly it risks making serious mistakes that could jeopardise the future security of the country. The Commons Defence Committee has questioned the robustness of the Strategic Defence and Security Review, the SDSR, which is charged with identifying where the axe will fall. The headlines in London this morning. Volunteers will later be able to apply for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity of working for the London 2012 Olympic Games. Olympic organisers will recruit up to 70,000 general volunteers in what they say is the UK's biggest post-war volunteer recruitment campaign. And some local news. Dozens of workers made redundant when housing firm Connaught went into administration last week have had their jobs saved. Building firm Lovells has stepped in to take on the contract vacated by the now defunct contractor with Barnet Homes to repair all council house stock in the borough of Barnet. And some community news. A meeting is taking place tonight at Aggel's branch offices involving the committee. Proceedings start at 7:45 p.m. And finally, more than 50 Turkish and Greek Cypriot teenagers have managed to break down barriers and build on issues of trust between them through trips to post-conflict zones including Bosnia and Northern Ireland. Along the way, we forget that some of us are Turkish Cypriot and some of us are Greek Cypriot, said a Greek Cypriot teenager who took part in the mission. The aim of the trip, organised and sponsored by the United Nations Development Programme, was to promote peace, understanding and civic action.